Hi there, excited to talk with you today about our solution blueprint processes and the outcomes that they lead to. So first and foremost, we're going to be staying in this left-hand column and really talking about the blueprint specifically. The blueprint process is detailed and it goes through many steps, but ultimately the goal is that we're understanding your people, your process, your data, and your technology so that we can inform a future state recommendation. The blueprint process starts with strategic alignment, and that actually happens even before we get into the blueprint itself, when you have your initial conversations with the AEs on our team to understand what your specific needs are. And then it continues throughout the duration of the blueprint, where we have pulse checks with your executive team and your decision makers to make sure that we understand your vision and future state goals so that we can help inform a future state recommendation that gets you there. Then we would have a systems review, and a systems review is a series of possible interviews that we'd be having, or even reverse demos with your technical team to really understand your current state tech stack and in any integrations, any limitations, and any area that we can focus going forward. We'd also be looking into Sme interviews. So these subject matter expert interviews would help us really understand your current state in terms of culture, people, process, data, technology, and just really understanding what each team does across the organization and how they collaborate together. And that would inform any kind of gaps that there might be currently in process or any future state recommendations. It might also show what's working really well and what we want to ensure we honor in any future state recommendations. This would also be an area that we may go deeper and do process mapping depending on your specific company needs and what we've agreed to prior to the blueprint. We may end up doing a business process mapping exercise where we go deeper, really understand and map out those exact steps that a team goes through in order to accomplish their goals. Lastly, we would do a data and KPI review, and that goes hand in hand with strategic alignment to make sure we understand what's the measurement of success that you're using and really help you identify those success measures. So moving from the process to understanding what are the outcomes and the deliverables that you can expect from a blueprint. Everything is going to be presented and bundled to you in a findings review, which is where we have usually about 90 minutes together where we're able to present our observations of our current state and give you those recommendations for your future state at the end of a blueprinting engagement. So the first thing that we start out with is the requirement summary. The requirement summary is actually sprinkled throughout everything that we recommend within a findings review, but it ultimately shows us what features, functionalities, and needs you have across all teams, and it highlights what is most paramount to you in the future states. What are your requirements for a future state? Then we would go into the future state architecture. So this is another deliverable that you'd receive, which is a visualization of what we recommend for your tech stack, any integrations, and how those systems might speak to each other. It also would include a future state data enhancement possibly, or a future state visualization of what data might look like for your company in a design. We also would then present a proof of concept. Proof of concept would be a virtual demonstration of what some of those key requirements we identified would look like in our future state technology recommendations. That would be bringing on our engineers to be able to really help speak to what this would look like in practice in the tools that we're recommending. And speaking of recommending tools, the last portion of a deliverable from a blueprint would be the technology recommendation itself. So the technology recommendation would include a future state idea of maybe a vendor matrix of, okay, if we're debating on multiple CRMs, for instance, we might include a custom matrix that understands what your requirements are against the different functionalities across commercial CRMs so that you understand what might be the best tool for you moving forward. It might also be that we recommend you stay on your current technology, but we might recommend some additional configurations that might help you in those next phases and help you better button up your systems. It could be add-on tools. So technology recommendation is definitely part of it. Whatever ends up being the future state recommendation, we also would include a roadmap for a way forward and what the cost estimate would be for any next steps as well. I hope this gives you a very high-level understanding of what a deliverable would look like and what the process would look like to get there from a blueprint. And if you do have any additional questions, please reach out to our team. We love talking about blueprints and what value they add to our clients. In the next video, we'll go into a timeline and cost estimate for a typical blueprint.